Clear Shots is brought to you by Pinecast. Use the code R-63F8FB to get 40% off your first 4 months.
Don't give them clear shots. Don't give them clear shots. Don't give them clear shots. Don't give them clear shots.
So, yeah, Alien Isolation's long. But yeah, so did you see that the Chiefs changed their name, the Syracuse Chiefs?
Yeah, I did.
To the Syracuse Mets.
And I think it's hilarious that the...
Did they change their farm system too, though? Are they the Mets farm team now?
Yeah.
It makes more sense than Washington.
Yeah, but like there was somebody saying that...
But Syracuse is not metropolitan at all.
No. The thing that bothered me was the article I put on Facebook about it. Was that there was a journalist from New York City saying, well, the Chiefs is racist towards Native Americans, when that's not even what they were named after anyway. They were originally the Sky Chiefs.
Yeah.
And the logo was a fucking plane made out of baseball bats.
Mm-hmm.
And then they went to the Chiefs, and the logo was a fucking train.
It's a train. Because they have the train in left field.
Yeah.
I don't understand. Like, what? But the Redskins are fine. The Redskins haven't had to change their name.
Neither of the Kansas City Chiefs.
Right.
Or the Indians, or the Braves, or the Seminoles.
It doesn't make any sense.
Or the Blackhawks.
And and the thing is, it's never Native Americans that are upset about it.
No, it's always white people.
Yep. It's offensive. It's mostly, I guess it's offensive to white people.
Mm-hmm.
Evidently. I feel like it's weird because people don't get upset about those things. Like, I feel like the only people that get upset about those things are the fucking, like, far left, like, SJWs that they just want their idea to be what affects the change.
Mm-hmm.
They just want to be able to say, yeah, I started that. I got them to change their name.
Yeah, basically.
Because they're never actually upset about it. Because, I mean, I feel like if they were actually upset about it, they would voice that. And I haven't heard shit about that, so. It's fucking weird. And I don't think Mets is the right team, or the right name for that, especially in, like, Syracuse is not that big of a city. I mean, it's decent size, but it's not a fucking metropolitan area. Yeah, I just thought it was fucking odd. And then they're changing their colors and everything to the Mets blue and orange. I was like, well, I don't know. I mean, I get it. Like, just do the Mets farm team, but why do you have to change the name?
Yeah, I don't understand why they have to. Because, like, the Crunch have never had to.
Yeah.
They changed the logo.
What is their... I don't understand what they're named after.
They used to be a Yeti.
Nestle. They used to be a Nestle team?
No, it used to be, like, their logo before we were born was a Yeti.
Yeah.
And the Yeti would crunch the ice.
Right.
Like, the logo was the Yeti, like, chewing on a hockey stick. But now it's literally, they don't even have a logo. It's just the Crunch.
Yeah. Who the fuck comes up with that?
Mm-hmm.
I played NHL 15 last night.
That's a good one.
Yeah. I was like, I feel like playing a hockey game for some reason. And I did. All my games were 7-5 and shit. Like, not real hockey games.
No.
It's easy to score in those games. But what's weird is, like, when you play on rookie, it's way too fucking easy. And then when you play on pro, it's way too fucking hard. And you can't control your goalie, so the other team just always fucking scores on you. And then I still, like, I don't know. I get the rules of hockey, but, like, I see a lot of fucking parts where I'm like, wait a minute, like, that's icing? Like, how come he didn't even get to the puck and it's fucking icing? Like, I thought the defensive team had to get to the puck first for it to be icing.
I think it's up to the referee's discretion.
I think it's also if you're behind your own blue line and you clear it all the way down and the defensive team gets to it first, that's icing.
Mm-hmm.
I think. I never understood until like a couple of years ago, like what offsides was. Like you have to be the first one. The person with the puck has to be the first one across their blue line.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of weird shit.
Don't even get me started on offsides in soccer, dude.
Yeah. Well, it's so weird too that fighting is like a part of the game. Like,
I love
and
it.
hockey fighting is like has its own technique too.
Mm-hmm.
Like you kind of grab the jersey and like you kind of pull back, and then it's like basically overhand rights or uppercuts. It's like the only thing you can do. There's like rules to it too.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucking so weird.
No headbutts, no biting, no kneeing.
And then you just have to find somebody who wants to fight with you, which is fucking weird. How come you can't drop the helmet in the NFL and just just fight each other?
They'd kill each other.
Yeah, but I mean, in hockey, they got a ref right there to break it up.
True.
Just do that. Be fucking hilarious. It'd really get the crowd into it.
They should let fights in the NBA.
Yeah, they should. They should just let it happen in every sport. If
Yeah.
it can happen in hockey, why can't you do it in everything?
NASCAR.
I wonder how that became a thing.
And hockey.
Yeah. They were just like, well, these guys are fighting. Let's just see what happens. Let's just sit back and see what happens.
Yeah, exactly.
And then they're like, oh, that was pretty cool. Let's make that a rule. You
Yeah.
can do that.
You can do that as long as you promise.
As long as you both agree.
Yeah.
They should have a MMA cage on the side of the hockey rink. So like they just step through the boards open up and there's you go right into a cage. It's 5-minute rounds.
You fight while the game goes on.
Yeah. It's like a penalty at the same time. Like the other team's like, well, it's not a power play, right? Because they both get a penalty for fighting.
Yeah.
But you get a penalty for instigating. I think there is an instigating penalty.
Nowadays, I think there might be.
They just do 1 5-minute round, so that's like their penalty basically.
Mm-hmm.
But you also fight and you serve the penalty at the same time.
I like the way that penalties in hockey work. I really do.
Yeah, like the power plays and shit.
Power plays are awesome.
Yeah.
Like-
I love the strategy of like penalty kills and shit because it's totally different. Like you basically just keep the puck away and you clear the puck down the ice like fucking 7 times just to kill that 2 minutes off.
Mm-hmm. And it's nerve-wracking if you're there.
Yeah.
Like, and the team you're rooting for is in a penalty kill.
Yeah. Yeah, and when you're on the power play, there's a lot of power play goals too. Like I don't think it's really a huge advantage to have 5 guys on the ice instead of 4 or against 4, especially if you can get. It's like think about if it was basketball and you had 5 guys on 4, you're gonna have someone open all the time.
Yeah.
So like you can move the puck so much more freely.
Like a power play in hockey is basically being like and goal in football.
Yeah.
Like you have a really, really good chance of scoring.
Yeah.
Like even bad teams still score on over half their power plays. You'd think, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like teams score a lot on power plays, which makes penalties more, more penalized, I guess you could say. There's more of a weight on that because it affects your whole team. I mean, sure it does in any sport, but not so much where now your other teammates have to face an extra player, essentially. Not an extra player, but they're down a player for X amount of time. Usually it's 2 minutes, which is a long time. You get 20-minute periods. It's 3 periods. And then, 2 minutes out of that is a fucking long time to be fucking down a player. Especially when a lot of hockey is like getting bodies in front of the goal. Like, you have one less to do that. Especially if they're on your side of the fucking ice. It's a crazy sport. It really is. And I would like to get into hockey, but it's tough to watch sometimes on TV.
And it's very niche.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like every player, like you can name for the NBA and for the NFL, you can name one player on each team that's like a superstar.
Yeah.
Hockey doesn't really have that. The only superstars are like, Crosby, McDavid, Ovechkin.
Well, Gretzky.
Well, yeah.
That's the thing is like hockey is similar to basketball in the way it's moved, in the way it's played, but it's actually very similar. Like if you once you get on your side of the blue line and you have the puck, you're moving the puck similar to the way you would in basketball until you find an open shot. But the difference is you need a lane to the goal versus, because in basketball you can just put it up over everybody. In this, you fucking have to have a lane at the goal. You also have to be able to get it in a spot where the goalie isn't. And dude, even their wrist shots are so accurate. These guys who play all the fucking time. Yeah. It's like, how the fuck? I every time I tried to play hockey, it was like I just had no accuracy, whether it was a wrister or slap shot. And some of them can saucer pass to in certain situations to get it over guys.
Yeah, hockey is not a sport that you pick up in your 20s.
It's fucking hard.
That's a sport that you start playing when you're 5.
Yeah.
And even then.
And I like that they let a lot of stuff happen on the ice. If your stick breaks, it breaks and it just stays there and you got to go get another one in the middle of the fucking game. Or your helmet's off. Oh, it's off. You can't do shit about it. You either go pick it up or you keep fucking playing. It's a rough fucking game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think people get how rough hockey is in comparison. No. Even with football, it's weird because you don't see people talking about how dangerous hockey is and seeing the rules getting changed. But you see that in the NFL.
Dude, hockey fans are the most diehard fans for any sport I've ever seen. Besides soccer, obviously, but that's overseas mostly. Hockey fans in America are that's all they do is watch hockey.
Yeah.
They'll watch any hockey.
Yeah, and I mean, it's cold in those places, so I remember going to see the Oswego Lakers a couple times. And it's these guys are fucking fast, and they hit hard, too. Yeah. I mean, they don't hit all the time, but when you get hit against the boards, fuck that shit, dude.
And you're landing on ice, dude.
Yeah.
And you're going 20-something miles an hour.
Not to mention they all have knives on the bottom of their feet.
And fucking 2x4s.
Well, didn't we show way long ago, we were talking about...
We had Bill on.
Somebody was on here. We were just showing the fucking goalies getting
Oh wait,
sliced
no,
shit.
it was Sean.
I think
Sean was talking to us about it.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's we just have knives on our feet. It's no big deal. They should just play. Is there professional street hockey with rollerblades? I feel like that would be safer. And it basically is played the same way. You'd have to use a ball.
With a ball, a racket ball.
The balls are a street hockey ball is heavy though, and it's hard. That shit'll hurt. A puck hurts too. Fucking Jesus Christ. That's when a baseball player lines a fucking foul ball off into the stands and a fucking someone's not paying attention. But hockey pucks fucking fly off because they're shooting them directly. With a baseball, it's just they swing and it tips off the bat. It's not going to come off as hard as if you were fucking slap shotting a fucking puck and it goes up over the boards. That shit's going to kill somebody. Mm-hmm. There was a dude at the last Syracuse Chiefs game I went to. Syracuse Mets, I guess I have to say now.
Yeah.
Someone got hit in the face.
You can tell people we watched the Mets.
Yeah.
Yeah, we watched the Mets play the other day.
Yeah. Someone got hit with a fucking foul ball and they had to fucking take him out. Because it's if you're not paying attention to the whole game, you're going to probably get hit.
I saw a video. They had it on the Dan Labatard show about this couple. It was a husband and wife in the stands, and they launched a home run. And the wife had her glove like this, and then the ball just got to get there, and she taps her husband on the shoulder to get it, and it hits him right in the face. The husband is watching his wife get ready to catch the ball. And it gets literally from here to the ceiling away. And she goes, "You get it." And it hits him right in the fucking mouth.
That shit's coming in faster than she thinks it is. Until you play outfield, you don't realize how fast the ball comes down.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also hard because even with the wind, and depending on the rotation of the ball too, if it's not spinning directly backwards, you don't know which way it's going to go. It's baseball's such a fucking hard fucking sport. Really, it is. I think it's an underappreciated game.
It's easy to make fun of, that's why. Just like NASCAR.
Yeah. Because it's not high, the pace is slow.
Yeah. I love the amount of people I see in NFL threads or NBA threads they just all collectively shit on baseball, and it's dude,
I'm telling you right now, any of those people, if they get in the batter's box, for one at bat against a professional pitcher? Nope. They're not even going to see the ball.
No.
It's going to be a fucking vapor, like a white line a streak that they see. There's a split second that you get to swing the bat. To even get through their fucking swinging motion, they probably wouldn't get through it.
Like that's what I love about watching celebrities and stuff throw the first pitch.
Yeah.
Yeah. They don't even know how to throw a baseball.
Yeah. Well, even when they do, sometimes they can't even make it to the plate.
Yeah.
It's not, I mean, to throw 98 miles an hour like regularly for 5 innings, 5+ innings, like Jesus, it's bad on your arm. And it's also fucking impressive. And then just being able to see a baseball. I feel like most of it is like guessing, being like, okay, he just threw an outside, like he just threw a slider low and inside. Like, oh, he's probably going to come up with like a heater.
Yeah.
Like up high. Like, and then you kind of guess and you just put your bet there.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I feel like that's a lot of what it is too.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of players, it's almost like they start their swinging motion right away.
Mm-hmm. And that's hard to do too, is like to check your swing. Mm-hmm. Like when you're basically in full swing and then you're halfway through it and just to pull it back. That's fucking hard.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Because they swing fucking hard too.
Bunting has got to be fucked.
Mm-hmm.
That's got to hurt.
I mean, it's honestly, it's
like,
scary.
Imagine if you miss.
Yeah.
Your finger's smashed.
Yeah. It's scary just being in the batter's box against someone who's even throwing 76.
Yeah.
Like, because you don't know. Like, how do you know they're not even fucking targeting you? They could be going right at your face.
Yeah, and I love when people get like they'll be like, "Oh yeah, he just beamed him." It's like, yeah, and he just fucking ruptured a bunch of arteries.
Yeah,
that dude's gonna have a bruise on his rib cage for like the next 6 weeks.
Yeah, yeah. They'll wear like an elbow protector, and that's optional. They don't have to.
Yeah,
they wear shin guards.
Those are optional, right?
And I think you have to have the thing covering your ear on the side, at least the side you're batting.
Yeah.
So, like, if you're a lefty, you have to have it on your right side. But the other side doesn't have to be, which kind of looks weird, that asymmetrical kind of, like, ear cover.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, yeah, like I said, I think it's a pace thing. People just can't, like, sit through a whole game.
No. And
that makes sense. I mean, that's, like, a game that you have to have in the background, and you kind of, like, peek in on it every once in a while.
And I tell those people, too, like, it's way better live. There's very few sports that are better live. Like hockey and baseball definitely are.
There's something about how casual baseball is, like when you go to a game. Like it's just kind of like you just sit there and chill and watch the game. Like in football, it's like you're into the game like too much. Like you're constantly like
it's stressing.
Yeah,
and you're getting shit talked. You're getting stuff thrown at you.
You feel like you're
part
in
of
the game.
EA Sports.
It's in the game. Dude, EA needs to, I swear, like, they need to take 2 years off of Madden and rebuild the whole game from the ground up is what they need to do. The problem with it is that they put it out every year, so they can't possibly make those kind of changes.
No.
The changes that people want and what would make it a better game. At this point, I don't know if it's EA doesn't want to do things or if they just can't with their time frame that they have. Considering this is like, I mean, yeah, they're different branches of the studio, but they also have to make NHL games. They have to make NBA Live. They have to make
FIFA.
FIFA, which is still huge.
MMA. Like that's only every other year though.
Yeah, I think it's 2 years. But it's like, even with, I mean, it's not the same branch, I would imagine. There's probably some creative guys, like directors and shit, that work on the same things.
I was going to say, isn't Madden EA Tiburon or whatever? Tiburon has the shark.
But it's just, they need to, if they can afford to take...
They do mobile games, too.
Right, yeah. I think it's just that they make too much money off of them every year, and they can't take that time off and make the game better. It's kind of a shit situation, because you have to put it out every year. And it's probably a contract that they're locked into anyway. So what do? Like, you have to pick and choose what you change and what you don't.
Piss everybody off and make the sequel or just a roster update.
That's what it is. I mean, basically.
Basically, yeah.
They add a couple things that could be better or could be worse than
They
last
had a
year.
couple things that were in Madden from like 4 years ago
Mhm.
and say they're new features. And then,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. If they added the vision cone next year, they'd be like, yeah, this is brand new.
I know. The one thing, if I could add one thing from the old Maddens into the new one, it would be actual superstar mode.
Yeah.
Where you actually meet your agent, you do endorsements, you fucking live in your own little house.
Yeah. Yeah, that was cool. I think it was NBA. What was the one? What's the 2K I have? 16? I think I have 16.
Yeah.
And you get like a gym, like your own gym and shit. You like customize
You can
it.
like invite your teammates over.
Yeah. That's kind of cool. It's also kind of pointless.
Yeah. I don't know, sports games now, like I haven't bought a new 2K in like 2 years. I'm still playing 17. I'm still playing Madden 18.
But I was just thinking about it last night. I was like, well, I mean, I get why people don't like it, and I get why they can't change that much shit, and I get why people are upset about it, but do they even, like, is it that they don't want to, or is it that they can't? Like, that they don't have the time to do that? You know? Because I feel like it's both, in a way. Like, I feel like they don't have the time to do it. Holy shit.
I figured out why my mic kept falling. I had it backwards.
It should be up like that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they have the time to do that kind of shit. It's fucking weird.
Well,
I don't know that any of those games really have many changes either. Like even FIFA.
FIFA definitely doesn't.
It's like, but do they bitch about that? Do the fans bitch about it? I think they just buy it every year again. It's like all of them do it.
Yeah. Well, it's like what Ubisoft did with Assassin's Creed. They're only doing Assassin's Creed every other year. Now all of a sudden, like Odyssey is apparently like the game of the year.
Yeah.
I've heard it's amazing.
Yeah, I heard it's good too. I still think fucking Black Flag is the best one, dude. That game was awesome.
That's the pirate one, right?
Yeah.
I have that.
I really like that game. I actually bought Assassin's Creed Rogue like a little while after I finished Black Flag because Rogue is like the same thing, but it was the one that came out for 360. It was in that weird transition period, and I don't think Black Flag came out for the 360, so they put out Rogue for the 360, and it's like very similar, like mechanics and shit. Like you're a fucking captain, and you do all the sailing, and the naval combat's the same. But I really liked it. It was so cool, like fucking sailing around and listening to your crew like sing fucking shanties and shit. They don't make enough pirate games.
No, they don't either.
They just don't. And I don't want Sea of Thieves. Like it doesn't look that great.
It looks really dumb. One of my buddies plays it. I think I was talking about it a few episodes ago.
Well, I don't want it to be cartoony. I want it to be a fucking gritty, like fucking pirate game. Like, give me that shit.
GTA Pirates.
Yeah, give me that, dude. Pirates of the Caribbean. I want to be Jack Sparrow, dude. There was one that wasn't bad. There was a Pirates of the Caribbean game that wasn't bad.
Really?
Yeah. I think it was like the first one after the movie came out. It was okay. I mean, for pirate games.
I love...
That genre's so fucking empty. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Like, you could kill that shit.
I loved... we were talking about Doom and video game movies. I love movie-based video games sometimes, like Revenge of the Sith.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that game's awesome. That's the one for PS2?
You have it over here. Yeah,
I think, yeah, I definitely have that. Did that one have the battle mode where you could like do verses? Is that the one I'm thinking of? Because I know with that one it was kind of like a linear, like it was a third person and you just play as Jedi.
Was there verses?
But I think there was a versus in one of them, and you could do 2-player like in the same system. Yeah. Yeah, that's what it was. It was like 1v1 like Jedi battles, which is pretty awesome. Yeah. I don't know what the fuck they're doing. Like that's an opportunity. Like that's an open fucking.
Do you like Soul Calibur but with Star Wars?
Yeah.
Soul Calibur 6 just came out too and I'm not getting it. Heard the customization is awful.
I'm not getting that either. I don't know. I haven't played Soul Calibur since 2, I think.
But I loved episode 3. I loved did you ever play The Thing? video game for PS2 way
No.
back. That one was pretty cool. That one was like SOCOM, but with the thing. And like if you fought too many monsters before resting, your crew would go crazy.
Yeah, there was some really good ones. And there's so many concepts for PS2 that like were good games that like haven't come back.
I think it's because it was so much cheaper to make games back then.
It was, yeah. There was more games for sure. I think that's part of the problem too, is the market's like so it was saturated and now it's like empty because it's all AAA games.
And indie games.
And
there's
the
no
indie
double A
games-
games anymore.
But and the problem is the indie games aren't good anymore.
No.
They're all trying to like be platformers and shit, and it's like, well, cool, your art style's awesome. All right, well, that's all you got going for you. Like that's it.
The last one I really enjoyed was Faster Than Light. You ever play that one? Where you're a ship captain?
No.
You have to make it from one end of the galaxy to the other without dying, and when you die, the game starts over.
Huh.
It's fucking sweet.
The last one I played,
Undertale was okay, but I didn't like it. I didn't like it enough to finish
What's
it.
the one where you're a like all black character, like a shadow?
Limbo.
Yes, that was
That one
pretty
was
awesome. That was the last.
They made
one I
another
played.
one. Those guys made another one called
It's called Inside. I think.
Inside. That one's fucking crazy.
Yeah, that was cool. But that was the last like indie game I played, I guess. And that was still like a higher end video game. Like it would, I don't know. That studio made a bunch of money off that fucking game. It's on everything. And Overcooked is kind of an indie game, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Overcooked is fun, but
There's a second one too. Gang Beasts, I guess.
yeah, Rogue Legacy. That one's fun. Or not Rogue Legacy. Jesus, I do it every time. Towerfall. Do you ever play that one?
Is Human Fall Flat an indie game?
Oh yeah, definitely.
That's an indie game too, I guess.
That one's good too. That one's getting really popular.
That one's, dude, the multiplayer's so funny now. It's like, the last time I played, I just like stopped everyone else. You can have like 6 guys in a game.
That's fucked up.
So I was just like preventing everyone else from completing the objective, like holding on to shit.
Can you
like,
still just swing and climb up the map? Because that's all I did. I'd get fucking wicked high and just jump and climb up the entire map.
it's fucking hilarious. And then the one with the big windmill.
Yup.
It's so funny watching like 7 guys like jump like constantly off of it, fly off the map. And then we were trying to shoot each other off the catapult, but everyone's trying to get in at the same time and like pull the fucking thing. It's fucking hilarious just watching everyone struggle to like do shit. It's almost like there's another layer of the game and it's your own team like
In the
trying to do the same shit at the same time.
Because I feel like you only get credit if you make it to the end.
Like when one person completes it, everyone falls through the map and it
Yeah.
goes to the next fucking
So
level.
you want to be the one to complete it.
Yeah. It's kind of competitive.
Yeah.
Like, it's cooperative and competitive at the same time. It's hilarious. It's like a Gang Beasts like puzzle
Platformer.
game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Puzzle game. Definitely more suited. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't played. I guess that's the only indie game that I haven't really played.
I have a bunch of them. I have like Kingdom Come Deliverance, I guess would count because that's from a super small studio. And I haven't really played much of it. It's really fun. It's very in-depth.
It seems like when these indie games get big, it's like just because their idea of like the idea of the game itself was good, not necessarily because the gameplay is great.
Yeah. Like Gang Beasts.
Yeah, like it's just a fucking physics based like beat 'em up type thing.
Mm-hmm.
All you have to do is have a decent physics engine. That's really it. I think like they need more ragdoll physics in games. It just needs to be in every game. Like I love the old Euphoria physics in GTA 4. Like those need to be in every game. Just hire Euphoria for your physics engine in every fucking. Euphoria was the ones who did Backbreaker too.
Mm-hmm.
It's like by now they should just have like a physics engine that's literally perfect and like takes into account every. Like, I think what you'd have to do is almost render every bone and muscle in someone's body and have everything react at the same rate. And that will happen eventually.
Yeah.
As soon as you can process that, as soon as computers can handle that, you'd actually have to render every piece of the fucking human anatomy. I just
Super
wait
Hot
for
was
the
pretty
day
sweet.
where that happens. Super Hot was cool, yeah.
Did you ever play that in VR or no?
No.
It is fucking nuts in VR. It's so fucking
Yeah,
fun.
it looks cool. I feel like that's like how it's meant to be played, though,
Yeah.
because that's what the concept is.
Yeah, when I went up to Rochester, Cody and I were playing it, and there was a level where there's these guys running after you. Nobody has weapons; they just have fists. But all you have in front of you are like vases and shit. So like I'm just grabbing vases and smashing vases over their heads and like punch them in the face. You can like stun them with a vase and then grab their head and like rip their head off and then throw the head at another guy. Like it's so fucked.
I think that's the story of the game, though. Is you're in the fucking like a simulation.
Yeah, and you can't get out,
Yeah.
or you can't stop playing it.
And
I
it
think.
gets like rampant or some shit. Like it fucking goes crazy.
Mm-hmm. See, I was gonna try and start a conversation with fucking movie
That
based.
kind of looks like a vagina or something, doesn't it?
Not a good one.
Yeah, it looks like a. It almost looked like the aliens had like the
Yeah.
fucking.
I can't think of any other movie based video games that I've played recently, or even when I was younger. I just remember playing the shit out of Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah, I played the Scorpion King on PlayStation 2 because you got to play as the Rock with long hair. It's fucking awesome.
That's so bad.
It was a terrible game. I spent just so much time playing like SmackDown games back then. I mean, I only had like SmackDown, like 3 of the SmackDown games, and then when I got an Xbox, I thought that was like the most gorgeous thing in the world was WWF Raw, and it looks so bad now. Everyone looks like they have a load in their pants, like when they walk around, and then their grapple is like they wind up and fucking do this. Like it's fucking hilarious.
I remember
looking.
playing like the original SmackDown versus Raw
Mhm.
last year for the first time in a long time, and I remember thinking that the story mode for that game was amazing. But then I remember, like, I didn't even realize that you only really fight like 8 fights.
At
And
the
then
time, it was.
And then you make it to WrestleMania, and if you win, the game's over, and if you lose, the game's over.
Yeah.
That's it. You win WrestleMania, and then they put you in the Hall of Fame.
Well, that's the thing is like games were just shorter back then. They've gotten longer and longer, obviously.
Yeah.
I remember like playing it's like certain games where you just get like Star Fox, like you play through it in maybe 40 minutes at the most, and then that's it. Like that's the end of the game. Then what do? You just play it again.
Yeah.
But Star Fox was awesome because I liked it because you could choose your path through it. Like you'd take shortcuts in certain levels, and it would open up different paths.
That's what I liked about the Metal Gear Solid games was that they were long fucking games.
Yeah.
Like Metal Gear Solid 1, you could beat in one sitting.
Yeah, it wasn't like ATV Alfred Fury.
No, but like you could also go around and collect all the collectibles and all the weapons and fight and kill all the enemies.
Yeah.
I remember, like Resident Evil 3. The first time I beat it, it took me, I can't give you the exact amount of hours, but I would say well over 12.
Yeah.
I was like 8. It took me like a
I
month
never
or 2.
played any of the. Do you remember Parasite Eve?
Oh yeah,
I played that game when I was young, and I was like scared as fuck
that game was
of
fucked
that
up.
game, and I barely remember it at all. I should really look up gameplay because I don't remember any of it, but I remember it being fucking horrifying when I was
up.
young as fuck.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't even know how I got it. The kid who lived across the street from me, he always had like he had the Xbox and I had the PS2. It was so weird because when I was a kid, like everyone on my block, we knew each other, and we would go outside like every day and like ride bikes and fucking skateboard, and we'd had like little kicker ramps and shit, and like we'd actually do shit. People don't do that anymore. Like there's no such thing. Like if I go back down to where I grew up, it's like it would just be like there'd be like tumbleweeds and shit. Like
No, it's the same way in my neighborhood. My neighborhood was me and the Thompson brothers, and then our buddy Brad, and then Sam, Justin, and Mike. And then sometimes
yeah,
Zach
I had a mic too.
And
There's always a mic.
Yeah, and then sometimes like Sean would come over with Zach and Dalton and Alex, or like Del Braca would come over with like Chris Murphy. But
yeah, I had Richard, Mike. There's a Jeremy There's always got to be a Jeremy too.
Yeah, I hung out with the Jeremy too. He was a fucking asshole. He was way younger than all of us. He was a little bitch.
It's funny because like they got me into wrestling. I remember going around the corner from my house, and that was far for me. and we watched fucking wrestling one night, and I was like, this is awesome. And then Mike always had fucking wrestling games. It was like we would skate and bike until 6, and then we would like go into somebody's house and play video games for another couple hours.
Mm-hmm.
And it was every day. Like after school, you'd just go, like you'd be like, oh, like it'd be like a race to be the first person who's out there.
Yeah.
You'd feel like a boss. You're like, yeah, I'm out here. I got my skateboard.
Yeah, all my homework's done, motherfucker.
Yeah, I don't even have to go until 6:30. I'm not gonna. That was the best thing too. Was like being bloody from skateboarding and then playing WCW World Tour for like fucking 3 hours. Yeah, I'm playing as Ultimo Dragon, bitch. I get to be Red Ultimo.
I can't remember. We didn't really play a lot of video games. We played a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh and like Magic the Gathering and
yeah. And once Budokai came out, then it changed the game.
Yeah,
dude.
Budokai was fucking mental. I remember I got a GameCube. I was the only kid. Everybody else on the block had the shitty consoles. Like,
Yeah, I didn't have a GameCube for a long time.
One of my the one neighbor had it was like 2004. They still had a Nintendo 64. And
Actually, I never had a GameCube.
Really?
I got the Xbox, and Sean got the GameCube, and then we had like a PS2 that was like just both of ours basically.
Yeah.
But
I had a PlayStation 1 and a Genesis that were my dad's. And then we both got PS2s when that came out. And then I got a GameCube when
I always wanted
Resident
to play
Evil 4. When Resident Evil 4 came out, I got a
Yeah.
GameCube with that.
Yeah,
And
there was a
then-
couple games on it I wanted to play. Like I wanted to play Luigi's Mansion because that was
game
fucking
was
sick.
awesome. But I just remember I was the cool kid because I had Super Smash Brothers and I had all the Mario parties.
Yeah,
And
that's what makes you the fucking
Sonic. I
man.
had Sonic Adventure. And I had
Sonic Adventure is dope. The second one is so fucking good.
Sonic Heroes. That was the other one.
And then when you play Sonic Adventure 2, you get pissed every time you play the Knuckles levels because you have to dig in the ground for
You have
those
to glide.
crystals. Yeah, the fucking green.
I hated the
shards.
levels with Tails, dude, because you were in the mech. And you just literally, you would walk into a room, press A, everybody would die, and you'd run.
Yeah.
It didn't have
Or
enough
you
Sonic.
you spin in a whole circle with that red laser, and then it locks onto everybody. Tick, 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 and then you go. Fire like a
Exactly
thing.
that, too.
What is his fucking the other guy? He was in a mech too. The fucking Eggman. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember making everybody mad at Mario Party, though, because I would play that game nonstop on a hard mode just to get wicked good at every mini game. Like, I was maximum autism with that game. And, like, it would be like a
And then
Saturday.
people would come over and you shred everyone.
Dude, it was fucked up. It really was.
What was the one where everyone was on the ball? Like all the characters were running on balls, and you were on like this platform, and you had to
You had to
knock
bump
each other off of it.
I remember the one that I loved the most was in Mario Party 5, and it was a 1-on-3. The 1-on-3 ones were the best.
Those are
And there's one where
because if you're the one and you beat everybody, you're like, I'm a fucking savage.
Yeah.
Come at me.
Yeah.
Fucking come at me.
Being the one, and you would be floating, you'd have balloons on you, and you had a hammer,
Yeah.
and everybody else was on the discs, and you could either press B to fake them out or press A to hit the block.
Oh yeah. Because you're always the guy that beats the shit out of everyone if you're the one guy.
Then there was the one where everybody else is in inner tubes, and then you're in an inner tube with spikes, and you're slower.
Oh yeah.
But
you
have
pop
to, you have
people's
to pop
fucking.
everybody's inner tubes.
Yeah. I want the new Mario Party, but I feel like it's like I have to have people to play it with. That's the thing.
And it would really just be me,
Yeah.
and I'd win.
I mean, I guess I could bring my Switch over for guys' night or something.
Yeah. But that's
Dock
too
it
many
on
people.
Wes's.
There's too many people there now.
Yeah.
It's not even...
I also don't have 4 Joy-Cons for people. And I'm not paying $90 for another Joy-Con, set of Joy-Cons.
Yeah. Fuck that. Yeah, and I remember Smash Brothers Melee, too. Like, everybody was good at that one, but I just remember exclusively trying to get good with Jigglypuff.
Yeah.
Because it makes people so mad. If you beat people with Jigglypuff, they get so mad.
That's true. Like, I feel like when people win with Kirby or something pink, then there's something about it that triggers people.
Game & Watch pissed people off too because he was just so shitty. Walking, he's like ding 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 ding.
Was the original Kirby for the NES?
Yeah.
Or was that
Kirby's Dream Land?
Oh, dude, it was so good because you go and you just suck shit in and you
shoot
turn
them out,
into
they're
you like
stars.
swallow them and you become whatever the fuck they did.
Yeah.
You get their abilities, and then you get to play the little mini game with the crane, and you pick out fucking extra lives and shit.
I loved the game, the Wario games. Did you ever play those ones? They were
No.
like Mario Party, but the mini games were only like 15 seconds long.
I don't think I played those.
They were really fucking weird.
And then fucking once they got like I liked Double Dragon and like Streets of Rage, and then there was Ninja Turtles in Time for the Super Nintendo? Fuck, what was Turtles in Time for? I think it was.
I thought it was the Genesis.
It was for that, and
Probably Super Nintendo.
it has to be Super Nintendo. Turtles in Time was incredible, and then they remastered that. But obviously, the original's better. But those beat 'em up games, like they're hard as fuck at a certain point. Like Streets of Rage 2 is fucking hard as shit.
Dynamite Cop.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a couple really good ones. Power Rangers the movie. I played the shit out of Power Rangers.
What was
movie.
there was a Power Rangers one where you're just giants, right? I remember
Yeah.
that one.
There was a fighting one. Power Rangers Fighting Edition is what it was called.
And you play
And
as
you
the
play
giants.
as like the mechs. Yeah, like
There's the
fucking-
one guy that's green and his hands are always like this.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to. It was kind of cool because there was like 3 different Megazords. That's what they were called. You had one that was like a tank and he was huge and just did a ton of damage, and then there was like one that was more nimble. I don't know if that was accurate to the show or not.
I don't know. Never really watched Power Rangers.
The fighting edition, dude. That was such a hard game. I'd get so pissed. I want to play Nigel Mansell's Formula One. It was on like, I think it was on Super Nintendo, and it was a racing game, but it was so hard because you couldn't see the turns. Like you could only see like 10 feet in front of you. So you basically have to guess like all the time what you're doing. And it kind of goes with you when you turn. I don't know. It's such a fucking hard game though. I want to get that on. I should get that on an emulator or something.
I liked Pole Position.
My grandma's, well, it was my grandfather on my mom's side, and he used to do tournaments for like the whole family. He would set up tournaments for in the Nigel Mansell game. So he would like set up like literally like he'd bracket out everybody, and like even people who didn't play video games would do it just because he loved it so much. And like we would just fucking like every other week or something he would come over and do like fucking tournaments for that game, and I had no idea how to play it, so I'd be like crashing into the fucking the markers and shit constantly. But that's the memory of that game that I have, and it's actually like kind of a fun game if you know all the tracks. That's the hardest part though. But racing games back then, it was just so hard to do that because you had a limited number of polygons to work with. Like,
Yeah. My grandpa liked playing NASCAR 2001.
Yeah.
NASCAR 2001. He'd always get mad because he'd be lapping me and I would fucking destroy his car.
Yeah.
And then,
Man, he would have been blown away by like he passed in 98, and he would have been blown away with the fucking games now. Like
Forza.
fucking yeah, if he would have seen Forza 6 or whatever. What was it? Is 7 the newest
That's
one?
the newest one. Well, Horizon 4 technically.
Technically, yeah. I hear that's pretty good.
But dude, if my grandpa saw Forza 6, he would have died again.
Yeah.
Like seriously, because we would even buy him like the newer NASCAR ones and be like, nope. He goes, the real handling is in 2001, and he would only play NASCAR 2001 with a steering wheel and everything.
Well, now it's like with the Forza games, you can tune your car so specifically to like you could make it play however you want, really.
Mm-hmm.
And you can turn off all the assists. Dude, playing
It's
that
so
without
hard.
the
It's
assist is
without
so
the
hard.
assist, dude. I at least have to have the thing that tells you how fast to go while you're going. Like,
yeah.
that's
the driving line.
yeah.
It tells you like when to brake and when
Yeah,
to
it's
let
like-
off.
it's like
Like the yellow is just let off gas.
red is
Green
to-
is fucking floor it.
blue is like whatever. Blue is to drift, like this is your drift zone.
Yeah.
Draft, I mean.
It needs to at least give me what gear to be in the turns if I'm going to play manual.
You know how you were talking about split second the other day?
Yeah.
I tried playing it again.
It's fucking hard.
Dude, I forgot how hard it was. Because when I was playing it earlier in the year, when it was backwards compatible, I got like halfway through the game.
No, it's hard as fuck.
I could not do it. I had to start all the way over. And I quit. I won like 2 races and I was like, I'm out.
Yeah.
The driving is just kind of mechanically bad.
Yeah, it's more of a
arcade racer.
Yeah. It's definitely not a simulation game.
No. I'm trying to play it like fucking Forza Horizon.
My dad used to have his PC that he used to have was pretty decent, and it had 3 monitors, and he would play what is that game called? It was a racing simulator, and it was wicked ridiculous. Like, it was super high-end racing simulator, and he had pedals and a shifter and a like wheel with haptic feedback and shit, and it was ridiculous how good it was.
Ridge Racer?
Yeah, I don't think it was Ridge Racer.
That's a good one to start with.
Oh fuck, I can't not think of what it is.
How long
it was a driving simulator. It wasn't like a game itself, really. I don't know. I'm gonna see if I can find it.
I was gonna say Assetto Corsa, but that's a newer one.
Yeah, that is newer. I never played that one.
That's the one Anthony plays. It's fucking insane.
It's gonna piss me off if I don't fucking find it, though. Nope, I don't see it. But it was crazy. I tried it one time and I was like, holy shit, like even getting out of like the fucking pits was like fucking difficult. And I got it going for a while. And eventually I spun. Like, it's so realistic that like if you fuck up at all, you spin. Like, it's really ridiculous. And it gives you an idea. It's cool with 3 screens too, because you can like look around like and see who's on your side and shit.
What if you ask him, do you think he'd remember?
Yeah, probably. I'm not gonna find it though.
My dad didn't play a lot of games. He loved Metal Gear Solid and he loved Madden and Medal of Honor and Call of Duty and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Battlefield.
Yeah. I never played Medal of Honor, I don't think. I played the new one. It was shit. Like,
Frontline is the best one. Frontline was badass. That's the one where you storm the beaches in Normandy in like the first mission.
Yeah. Yeah, wasn't there another one with Normandy? Call of Duty Finest Hour, maybe? Mm-hmm. There was Big Red 1. Dude, the original Call of Duty games were awesome. They were like World at War, basically. That's why I liked World at War, was like it reminded me of
all the original ones were World War II.
Yeah.
They had Finest Hour, they had Big Red 1.
I had the first one. And I remember I used to go to gamershell.com and they would have tons of fucking demos for games. So you could just download them for free. And that's where I got the Halo demo first. And that's where I played that. And I would just download tons of demos. Probably got tons of viruses. But I had demos up the ass. And that was one of them, was the fucking Call of Duty demo. And then I got the game. Because I would just play the first mission of Call of Duty over and over because that was the only one that was in the demo. And then there was like Painkiller. That game I fucking got the demo for. You would fire like these wooden stakes at people and you could pin them up against the wall and shit with them. It was fucking sick back in the day. It wasn't even that like... It's so weird that long ago, like, that kind of shit could happen in games. Because I feel like that... like, nowadays, that'd even be hard to program. Like, to get, like, a fucking stake that over-penetrates their head and sticks them in the wall.
I liked the AVP games when I was younger. If we're talking nostalgia games. Alien vs. Predator.
Yeah. The first AVP 2, there was 2 of them, right?
There was 1, 2...
I had a demo for that, too.
In Gold and then Primal Hunt.
Yeah. Fuck, I'm never going to find this simulator thing. I'm going to have to ask him. But, Yeah, that was crazy when I played that. And he used to do it all the time. And it was like an online thing where like you'd have a bunch of people in one server, and it'd be like full length races, like long ass races. And they evidently they used like Tony Stewart and a couple of the drivers were talking about how they play it, like just to like stay on their game basically. Like it's pretty cool. It's almost like an
older one.
Yeah, like it was a training tool basically that they would use.
Is it the one they have at LaGraff's? They have a fucking racing simulator at LaGraff's.
I heard they do. I would like to try that. They have tournaments with it too. I was thinking about doing that, but it's like I would have to practice on that thing for a while before I feel comfortable enough to get in, like pay money to play against people who actually do it. But that's one thing I want. I wanted a fucking like a racing wheel for a while, but like I don't want to pay as much as they're expensive.
They really, especially for a good one.
Yeah. Because you got to have it with the haptic feedback, like the force feedback. Because you can't, it's just not the same unless it's shaking around and shit, like on every bump. But we used to have one for the N64, which, I mean, still, I think it was the N64.
That's fucking weird. I remember we had racing wheel controllers. I want to see if I can find a picture of it.
You won't, because you can't find anything in the internet right now. It's impossible.
I'll find it.
But it's like I don't know, I think gaming peripherals are weird.
Yep, there it is instantly. It looks so fucked.
Is it Ridge Racer?
No.
What the fuck is that? PS1 racing controller.
You would use your right hand there was a trigger on the back. You'd use your right hand. That was your accelerator and decelerator. Then all the buttons were on the front, and then the top part was the wheel.
Oh, what? You turn it with your hand?
Yeah, the top part you turn is the wheel.
You like screw it.
Yeah,
like that's so weird.
we had a ton of those.
For what? PS1?
For PS1, yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, that thing was bad. They
that
broke
was
so they
that
broke
was for
so
NASCAR
fast,
Rumble
too.
though. That's
Yeah.
what that was. That was literally for Dirt to Daytona.
They broke so fast it was fucked up.
What was Dirt to Daytona for?
Arcade.
360. That game was pretty sick because you got to play. Literally, it was Dirt to Daytona. Like you played through your campaign and you play as a dirt, like a sprint car driver.
Oh, it was PS2.
Yeah,
And
then you like work your way up. That was pretty cool because then you get to drive Bush League, and that's the cool one. It's not Bush League anymore, right? But people still say Bush League as a slang term.
Yeah, what is it? It's not even nationwide anymore. Is it Xfinity?
I don't even know. There was Nextel Cup. It was Winston Cup for a long time. Nextel Cup, Sprint Cup. What is it now? I
think it's Xfinity. I think because the main one is Monster.
Why do they need that?
It used to be nationwide.
It did?
Yeah, a few years ago it was nationwide and Sprint.
Yeah, I don't know why they need that shit. Just fucking call it NASCAR. The big leagues. The bigs.
It's gonna be big, big, big. I fucking miss those old games. Like
I just miss 90s like
aesthetics.
Yeah, like and commercials and shit.
Yeah, I just miss how everybody was happy.
Yeah. I miss like light greenish blue. Like I feel like that's the most 90s color ever.
Those
like
cups,
the sweaters,
those weird cups.
Yeah,
with the squiggle and the blue.
And everybody had purple and green sweaters. Like those really thick arms, like that really didn't keep you that warm. I feel like that's the way to go. I mean, we just need to go back to that and turtlenecks and shit, you know? When's the last time you saw someone with a fucking turtleneck?
When the Lonely Island made that song, they came back for like a month.
They made a song about turtlenecks?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's what it came.
You never heard it?
No.
All right, we'll listen to it when this part's over.
I'm sure it's great.
It's pretty awesome, actually. It's got Snoop Dogg.
Of course it does. They had Lil Wayne on one of them, didn't they?
Lil Wayne. They had T-Pain.
Yeah. Yeah, they've had some guys. I don't know how they have those connections.
Akon.
Sandberg's got those connections, dude. He's got the hookups.
Definitely not the other two guys.
No. Who are the other two guys?
Exactly.
The Lonely Island. You mean Andy Samberg and then those other dudes?
Oh,
aren't they on fucking SNL or something?
Yeah. Did you watch that Norm Macdonald video too?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so good. A nice set of gold-plated chains would be a good retirement gift for your favorite slave. Did you just say that? No, I read it out loud.
Was that from his Netflix show, I think?
Yeah, it's so good. Yeah.
I started watching American Dad again just because I wanted to see. It's not that bad.
I love it. Roger's the best part about it.
It's just that what makes it better is that there's no cutaways.
Yeah.
I mean, there is once in a while, kind of, but not really. Not Family Guy.
It's not every punchline.
Yeah.
Roger is just the shit, though. I fucking love him.
Yeah, I feel like they pull a lot of it from their scenarios, which is good. That's the way they do it.
Like I love. I was watching an episode with my dad like a week or two ago where Stan wants to be promoted in the CIA, so he tries to get Roger to become friends with the senator's daughter.
Yeah.
And so Roger's hanging out with her, and he goes, "So what do you do for fun?" She goes, "Well, I'm 16, so I do a lot of drugs." And Roger's just like, "Yeah." Like, they just shoot up heroin and shit.
I feel like because he's in the CIA, it leaves so much open for them to do things.
Yeah, for sure. And, like, Roger is every character that you need.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I love it eventually when you start the series, you know, he's like a therapist or he's a doctor, teacher, whatever the episode needs. And then near the end of the more recent episodes, there's literally a scene where like Stan is like, I got a business card for this guy. He goes, I got to go talk to him. And he looks at Roger. He goes, "It's not going to be you, is it?" And he goes, "No, I don't think so." And then all of a sudden he opens the door. He turns around. Roger's gone. The doctor spins around in the chair and it's Roger sitting at the desk. Like,
I had never seen the first episode, and I watched it. I guess it aired after Super Bowl 39.
Yeah. Like
right after Super Bowl 39. And then there was like 3 months where it wasn't on. And then it showed up on Animation Domination, and they played the rest of the season, which is weird as fuck. They're like, oh, let's just play this fucking one-off like pilot after the Super Bowl. TBS. Yeah. And, they show, it's either the first or the second episode where they actually showed Klaus like who he was, and he was like that German skier with a fish brain.
Have you binge watched it? Like how far?
I only watched like the first 3 episodes. I'm just gonna watch all the way through it.
There are so many good episodes. Like there's one where they put Steve in a Vietnam War reenactment and he gets PTSD. And then
there's a couple shows I wanted to watch because I want to watch Seinfeld because I never have watched it, and people talk like it's great. And from what I've read, it's like one of the most influential sitcoms ever. So I'm like, well, I have to at least watch it and see.
Seinfeld's pretty good. Curb Your Enthusiasm is really good too.
Yeah, I was reading about that too. It's not on anything, so
it's only on HBO.
I don't know where to watch that. I have to download it, I guess.
But no, American Dad's great, dude. I fucking love that show. I love the episode. There's one where Stan finally gets invited to hang out with the rest of the CIA guys and like goes crazy. Like he gets way too drunk and too fucked up, and they all get fucked up and they like kidnap people so they don't get caught, even though they're in the CIA.
I love how Roger can just be in public, kind of. It's not really a problem.
Yeah. Because he dresses up as characters and stuff.
Yeah, but it's just,
it's.
I mean, that's not how it really would work.
Well, he's
supposed to like in the first episode. He's like, "Oh, have you contacted your home planet yet?" And he's like, "Oh, like I was just gonna get around to that, but he said something was on TV and he was fucking." I love how like the first episode is so obviously the first episode because in the first in the first 1 minute. They say everyone's name. Yeah. I was like, they're going to do this right now. Because after the first 2 people, like, after they were like, Steve, like, hey, Steve, blah, 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 blah. And then Steve was like, Haley, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, they're going to do this. Like, they're going to say everyone's name in the first, like, minute and a half. And they fucking did. I was like, this is how you introduce a show right here. I want to just watch pilots of every show ever and see if they do that. Because they have to introduce you to their name somehow. It's a fucking weird thing.
I would like to do that, but it'd be so rough.
Yeah.
Especially South Park and Family Guy.
South Park's is so like crazy because like they did it all with like pieces of paper. It was like stop motion. How they did that first episode.
It was just the first episode though, right? I'm pretty sure. It was the first season.
I think the whole first season. They talked about how painstaking it was. And then they just obviously technology fucking was able to. I mean, it's so much easier now. That's why they can come out with episodes so fast.
Yeah.
That new one's pretty funny. The new one was about like vaping and shit.
Really?
Yeah. And they have like the big like Kool-Aid guy, but he's a giant vape and he breaks to the fucking wall. It's fucking hilarious. And Randy like gets sick of living in the city and he goes out and fucking he starts his own marijuana farm.
I love that Randy's like the main character now.
Yeah.
Or a main character.
Yeah, he should be. I don't know. They missed so many opportunities with Randy. Now they gotta just make it up and put him in every episode. And now in this whole season, every time they show the school, you can hear gunshots.
That's too good. I love it. I gotta watch it. I'm not gonna watch it until like it's almost like halfway done. Then I'm gonna binge watch like the first half. Like, don't they take a week off halfway through the season?
I think so. Yeah.
I have it on Hulu.
Sonny's okay this year too.
I haven't watched any of it.
It's like the newest one. They like went on like they made like a clip show, so they like went back and like relived all their old memories and shit. And it was like sort of an Inception thing where they were trying to figure out whose mind they were in. It's okay. I think they need to just maybe end it.
Yeah.
Like I feel like they're starting to like rehash things because like they're getting to the point where like they're doing callbacks, like a lot of callbacks for like their fans, and maybe I don't know. It's a good thing, I guess. It's kind of cool, but
I feel like Sonny was always popular, and then it got really popular really fast.
Yeah,
like because I remember when we used to watch it back, like when I was in high school and stuff. Not a lot of people knew what it was,
right?
And then all of a sudden, it was almost like 2 years ago.
I knew it was a thing, and then I started watching it, and I was like, "This show is fucking incredible! Like, this might be the best show ever. It's my favorite show." But fucking like. I was like, where has this show been? Like, how has it been on for this long and I haven't heard of it? Or I've heard of it, but I've never paid any attention to it. I was into, like, South Park and fucking cartoony shows.
I mostly watch South Park and King of the Hill and Scrubs and football. Yeah. ESPN. Like, I was just telling one of my coworkers the other day, like, we had a V-chip on my TV. And, like, during the week, I wasn't allowed to watch... I was only allowed to watch ESPN 1, ESPN 2, Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network, or
Cannibal
Disney
Corpse music
Channel.
videos.
Yeah. So I didn't want to watch cartoons all the time, and I got to be like 9 or 10, and I like exclusively watched ESPN 2 because back then ESPN 2 was just Sports Center all day.
Yeah.
And I would sit there and watch Sports Center for like 4 hours a day, Monday through Friday.
Yeah, that was
for years, like for so long.
I miss when it was like ESPN was watchable though. Like it was ESPN, ESPN2, ESPN Classic, ESPNU, ESPN News. So like if ESPN and ESPN2 had some shit on, you could just go to ESPN News. It's always Sports Center. And Sports Center was actually like something I could sit and watch.
Yeah, they had like Boomer, they had Stuart Scott.
Yeah, I can't watch it anymore.
It's
when you don't have Stuart Scott, like that's it. It's over.
Really, that's what killed it for me too, because he was just the best.
Yeah, he was the man. Rip.
I'm gonna have a beer for Stuart Scott tonight.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna go to the bar when we're done. Get like 2 Long Islands.
Yeah. Watch Sports Center.
Watch Sports Center for 4 hours.
I just can't. I miss having NFL Network, like, because that's what I would watch all the time.
Mm-hmm.
It sucks. And now I don't know shit about football besides what I watch.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Because I don't watch SportsCenter. I feel like most people, like, do. Even though they don't like it.
I put it on and I put it on Sunday mornings and Monday mornings. Because Sunday morning, well, it's not even Sports Center. It'll be like college football recap.
Yeah.
Or scoreboard.
That's the thing is, like, I'll watch it if they're talking about football.
Yeah.
But, like, what happens is they talk about football for a little while, and then they go talk about fucking basketball, and I don't give a shit.
Like, I fucking turned it off today. I got done working at my house or working at my grandma's house, and got home, and I was making pizza, and just, like, you know, reheating it, and,
Turd's about to be reheated.
Yeah. ESPN 1 was something stupid. Oh, it was Outside the Lines.
Of course it was, yeah.
Which is awful. I hate that show. And so I went to ESPN 2 and it was First Take, and I'm like, okay, I guess I'll watch First Take. And it was literally, they sat there. It was Max Kellerman, who's awful, Stephen A. Smith, who's even worse, and then some third guy.
Yeah.
Talking about Odell Beckham's dad talking about John Mara, the owner of the Giants, for like 15 minutes.
Why
and
do
it's
people...
like, who? First, I was pissed, and I was.
They
like,
should just always show highlights.
I'm
and
like,
previews.
First, I was like, who the fuck is watching this? Then I was like, oh, I'm watching this, and then I shut it off. But they were literally like, why is Odell Beckham's dad trying to talk about the owner of the Giants like he knows he shouldn't talk? And then the other one's like, well, Odell Beckham's dad is defending his son. And then the third one's like, well, I don't think hammer. Like, it's just, dude, it's so, like, that's what I love about,
well, I used to like going to it after like the football games and watching the highlights. And it would do it like, there would be like a section of it. And then after it was over, it would just play it again. Like the same fucking thing.
Yeah.
Which is good. I'll watch it again. I don't even fucking care.
That's why I like, Skip and Shannon, Undisputed, because they put every, topic on YouTube individually, so you don't have to sit through the whole episode. You can just go on YouTube and like exclusively watch the football ones, you know, like, and I used to hate him and I love him now, but Colin Cowherd, he is such a troll, and he admits that he says things. He goes, somebody asked him, they're like, why do you have these ridiculous takes?
Well, that's what SportsCenter or ESPN is.
He's like, why do you think the Patriots going to trade Tom Brady? And he goes, you want to know why? He goes, because you came all the way to my studio on my show to ask me why. And he goes, do I really think it's going to happen? No, but we're talking about it.
Exactly. Well, that's like Terry Bradshaw saying he'd rather have Mike McCarthy over Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
It's like, well, yeah. No, you wouldn't. Because no one in their right mind would want that. And you're just trying to make fucking headlines, which he did. So that's what it is, though. I think that's what ESPN is. It's just about controversy. And that it makes sense because it's a TV fucking channel competing for ratings just like every other thing, like Fox News and fucking NBC and fucking basically any news channel ever. That's all they do is compete for ratings.
Yeah.
It's weird watching cable TV and being like, well, they don't have an agenda, because you can't do that. Every channel has an agenda, even if it's fucking Comedy Central. Notice that all their fucking shit is liberal programming. But South Park is actually pretty fucking right wing. Yeah. If you think about it.
They're kind of, they attack both sides.
Well, they've even said that they're Republicans.
Yeah.
But they,
like, I can't watch anything late night anymore. We were talking about this with Bill, I think. We were talking about, the Late Show with Stephen Colbert, and then the Nightly Show with Jimmy Fallon, and then Jimmy Kimmel, and then Trevor Noah.
I just wish it was still fucking
Jon Stewart,
and then Colbert Report.
Yep.
It was so fucking good. That's a whole hour of shit I could watch. Like, that was actually fucking wicked good.
The only talk show host I can watch is Conan, because he doesn't really get political.
Conan's not bad. But that's how I used to get my news, was fucking the Daily Show and the Colbert Report. I'd be like, okay, yeah, they're making fun of this, but that's what happened. So, like, you still get what happened, even if they fucking try to push you this direction. They obviously push you to the left, but it's like, well, that event still occurred. Like, even if they're making fun of it, like, that's what happened. So I at least like was kind of up to date.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty fucked up that Jimmy Kimmel literally had a sketch last week about, like, he had somebody dress up as Donald Trump's dead dad, and he came out and like was talking shit about Donald Trump.
Yeah, that's the way to go.
And it's like, you're fucking tasteless, dude. Like, you have no fucking creativity. You have no creativity.
That's the problem. I think at this point, like, if you're still making fun of Donald Trump, like, you've lost your edge.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have any, like, that's just the low-hanging fruit.
It's going to be 2 years now since he was elected.
Yeah, it's like, just ride it out at this point. Yeah. But how much longer do we have to ride it out is the question.
Imagine if he gets reelected.
I know, dude. People are going to flip the fuck out, and he might actually do it, too. Because who's going to come along and dethrone this guy? Like, does anyone look good?
No, because every candidate
It's going to end up being fucking Hillary again if she wants to run.
Candidate that comes up against him just looks like shit. Like, we had that one, we had Elizabeth Warren come out, claim that she was going to be the first Native American to run for president, and then they find out that she's only like
not Native
100th Native American.
She's not even close to being Native American, realistically. You look at her and you're like, you're white. Like, it's not even a fucking...
And then you have that guy in Texas that is running for Senate against Ted Cruz. His name is Robert O'Rourke, but he's telling everybody that his real name is Roberto.
Yeah.
And that he's actually Mexican, and he's going to be the first Mexican...
Bring back Gary Johnson, dude.
Yeah. Bring back
Hashtag
Trump. I want Trump to win again. I really do.
I'd say Joey Diaz for president. Duncan Trussell for president.
Let's do Red Band and Theo Von 2020.
Theo Von would be great, dude. Chris D'Elia as president. Dude, his tweets are so good, D'Elia. Dude, he shits on everyone. And he's constantly, like, on Twitter, like, replying to people. It's fucking hilarious. Like, he's literally a Twitter comedian. D'Elia's fucking great. His podcast is so good because he's, like, one of those few guys that can just sit and talk by themselves. I think Theo does a lot of those by himself, too. Mm-hmm. But Theo has, like, callers and shit. You know, like, he has people call in and say shit. He also has guests from time to time. But Theo is like... Theo's podcast is not much of a comedy podcast. It's more of like a philosophy kind of podcast. I think Theo's so good when he's on like The Fighter and the Kid and shit.
I love when he's roasting.
Dude, Will Sasso is fucking hilarious.
Did you see the one where he bangs on the wall? I showed you that, right? Oh, who's over there? Theo Von. Who's Theo?
Yeah, because D'Elia was on, right? And then Theo's next door.
It was Duncan Trussell and Theo were next door, and then it was Chris D'Elia and Will Sasso.
Is it though? You know he's doing that shit on purpose. Is it though? And fucking, dude, Theo got so mad. Dude, Fighter and the Kid is really good. It's and then when Will Sasso's on that fucking show, it's fucking great.
When who?
Will Sasso is the man, dude. Yeah. He was on there the other day, and he's fucking hilarious. There he is.
No, it's supposed to be this one. There it is.
This is one of them, though. They're making a ton of fucking noise. Callan knows exactly what he's doing.
Shit, why did it restart?
Sasso and Callan like get in like 3 different fights in the newest episode of Fighter and the Kid.
Really?
And like literally like they're physically like beating each other up, and then their producer starts playing music and they just start dancing every fucking time. Jeez. It's fucking great. Will Sasso is like under fucking rated. He needs his own. Does he have his own podcast? He has to. Because he's fucking the man. He used to do the 10-minute podcast.
He used to do Mad TV too.
Yeah. No, he's fucking hilarious. And he's a guy that like disappeared for a while after Mad TV.
Yeah.
I think he needs to make a comeback. Hashtag bring back Sasso.
Yep. Hashtag. I crave the sass.
Hashtag vote Sasso.
Sasso 2020. Hasso hashtag 2020.
Hashtag.
Look at his gut though. Holy shit.
Yeah, he's great. He's got giant legs. So on that note, we'll end it on giant legs.
I think I'm spent. I need a
all out of
I need a
legs.
stiff drink in my fucking liver right now.
All right. See you later.
Peace out.
Clear Shots is available on any of your favorite podcast platforms. ClearShotsPodcast.com is the best place to find all of our social media links. You can find us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter at ClearShotsPod. Thank you for listening, and we will see you next time.